morning, everybody. It's Monday, and you know what awaits on the Monday morning? The Monday morning beef with Jules. Everything is ready for us to get this conversation going. Jules, how are you? It's Monday. You were quite busy over the weekend.
Yes,
How are you feeling today? Are you sore?
I am still standing.
Very good.
But fortunately, I'm sitting right now.
Hey, well, very good job, though. Very, very good job. We saw the pictures and the videos, and, you know, good work out there on the court this
You look like you
weekend.
were trying. You weren't succeeding, but you look like you were trying. I mean, this is
You
what
know-
the teachers talk about, how I give you an E for effort.
E for effort.
That's what I'm
Certainly,
grading
I
you.
think I earned that. It was called an all-star game, but it was more of an all-star lame because of the personalities involved. Well, so we were on Team Chester. There was Team Kareem and Team Chester. We have the pictures, guys.
Please, put up these pictures.
We have
who
the
can say.
pictures, yeah. So here is the opening tip. I think it's the first time in the history of basketball there was a foul on the opening tip.
Oh,
Shortly
no.
after this, I think you have the picture, sir, that I fouled Mr. Musa. We did the opening tip. Now, there's a certain point at which basketball jerseys are no longer made for the size you are. Because basketball jerseys, here's the foul on the opening tip. Because
Really
basketball jerseys are made for people who can move. And people who need 2X usually can't move. So here is the opening tip, and you will see that there is a foul on the opening tip. I fouled him on the opening tip.
That's not a real foul, though. That's not a light foul.
That was kind of an elbow.
Well, a
in
foul
the
is a
section.
foul.
no, like,
anyways.
I remember they used to teach you, like, when you foul somebody, make sure they put the girl.
Or probably...
I did a few of those.
Oh, okay.
I topped out in fouls. I had the most fouls of the
So
day.
I guess you were setting the tone for the game, is that it?
I was doing all I could do, sir, which
I
is,
think-
at this point, all you could do is just try grab people.
I think
I was
you
playing American
realized
football
that
in
you
a
don't know
basketball
win,
game.
And so you say, you know what, man, I just beat up these people on the
I
court
did.
and just make my mark in that way. 'cause
I
you know-
did. I inflicted a lot of pain. I inflicted a lot of pain. But, it was good fun, and I really support this tournament. It's a really great initiative, and the guys like Douglas Hyde, the MC, Harry, the DJ, these guys work so hard every weekend, and this thing is a meaningful way of peace building, and I really do support it. It's a shame that we had to embarrass their good basketball with our celebrity input. I think Henry Charles, DJ Perf could ball. He could ball.
So here,
Stig-
DJ Amba.
Stig needs to stay off of the court.
He's good at singing, right?
Stig
Singing is
needs
his
to
thing.
stick to singing or rapping. Yastalia, God bless her, beautiful soul, great kid. She has never seen a basketball court before.
Oh my God.
Kareem, Minister Kareem, Minister Henry Charles Usher. Guys, our time has passed. I don't know if there was ever a time that was our time, but usually when you shoot and everybody else say, alley-oop, that means you are not expected to touch the rim anywhere close. But Henry Charles did score. Henry Charles Usher did score, I think.
Ooh, okay.
And Kaya Katus is an incredible athlete.
I can imagine.
Yeah. She's an incredible,
So what was the final score?
the final score, I think they only beat us by 11. So Team Kareem won.
I'm making him in
I
9.
think maybe it's 9.
That's
Maybe
9.
it's 9. And that 9 is DJ Perf. DJ Perf can ball.
Wow,
The
he's
man
the-
hit 4
But he's the
three-pointers.
MVP of the game, no?
Yeah, he's the MVP. He
Beautiful.
could ball.
Beautiful.
DJ Perf could ball, but it was good fun.
And Kaya was on your team, right?
What's that?
Kaya was on your team. Kaya.
Kaya was on my team.
But she couldn't save you. She was.
She couldn't save us from our inherent lousiness. We stunk.
Where knees did do you? I just need to
Yeah.
understand where knees did do
My-
that.
it's called
My
warming
knees
up.
are just saying, stop, stop. Please go sit down. Usually when you get injured coming off the bleachers, that's
The,
a
knee-
sign
the
that-
knees are like, we haven't even started yet.
Yeah, exactly.
What's funny
exactly.
is they text me a picture, right? Because I couldn't miss Diana text me a picture, and you just sit down on the bench, and I'm like, I wanted to even play Jews.
No, I was trying not to, but anyway, I was pressed into service. But it was good fun, and it's in support of a great effort that these guys are spearheading. And it's a shame, Chester.
But where was
So
I'm
Chester
told
didn't
he had
show
a
up, yeah?
personal emergency.
Oh.
I did not get that from him, and until I hear it from his mouth, I will accept it. But I think it was a notable no-show. But as we know, Chester, he's not a man who can talk his way out of anything, but he is not somebody, and I'm saying this publicly, he not fit ballet. He like pretend like he fit. But he's fit to be tied. That's the only thing he's fit to be when he get back. So anyway,
I like how you come out and you play your ball, right? You try,
I was on the court and there was a ball.
Exactly.
Good job.
You fit in on you try for 15 on
it was a full burrito. Look, it's a full burrito.
You know, the way how it just nice, you know.
Nice. I smug. I like to
smug.
Yeah.
smug.
But definitely, I'm hoping people go out and support because I know that the games are still continuous, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
yes.
Up
And
until October or November?
Right, October, I believe.
October, yes. So if guys, it's happening every Saturday, you can come out
Yeah.
and enjoy a great game. You might not see Jules slung like a burrito.
You'll
see people that actually
You'll
know
be
how to play.
spared that site. You'll be spared
Yes.
that site.
So with that, let's move on with the next item.
Yes,
Which is about
you know, it's a heavy morning.
frustrated nurses.
Hashtag frustrated nurses.
Yes.
It's a serious situation when nurses, there's a mass simultaneous walkout of nurses this morning. At the Western Regional, I believe at the Northern Regional, and it may also occur again at the Southern Regional.
Yeah.
On Saturday, nurses walked out. Now let us put this into context. There are ongoing talks. A meeting was held on the 22nd with the Nurses Association of Belize and the minister and his team. And they gave them a 3-week deadline to act on certain things involving deductions for lunch breaks, etc. When you see people say, we're not business, you gave a commitment of 3 weeks, we're not business, we the walk out. That means that they are at such an apex of frustration, such a boiling point, that it's like, hell no. The healthcare system under Dr. Julio Sabido, under Kevin Bernard, is in crisis. And these, you know, we have said so much, frontline heroes. Frontline is being mistreated. That is what they are saying. So it was so much of a false sense of tributing these people.
Right.
But they have gone through a very traumatic 2 years.
Yeah.
And coming out of that, they say that their lunch hour is being deducted, they aren't being paid overtime properly. And we have to understand that we have a CEO, Julio Sabido, who is a junior medical officer. This man has never run a cost center, which is one of the major administrative roles in the public service. And as an accounting officer, which is what the CEO is, you have to understand these things. I'm sure he's a very quick study, very smart man, but he does not have that experience. He's a junior medical officer elevated to the post of CEO. These people are hyper frustrated. They take their jobs and their responsibilities seriously. When you see them walk off the job and leave sick people in the ward, as I understand it, they leave a skeleton staff in the ward when they walk off, so that in case of emergency, you know, it can be handled. But it is a critical situation, and the ministry feels that it will not be held to ransom. Well, you are realizing now who has the power.
Yeah.
And I'm saying doctors are frustrated as well. Specialists are also frustrated because there are serious problems in the healthcare system which exceed just the known issues. I think we have a Facebook post with what are the known issues. There's a deduction, some misunderstanding over a deduction being made for their lunch hour.
Yeah.
And this really
So technically they have like an
infuriates
hour
them.
break during the day, which is 15 minutes in the morning, half-hour lunch break, and 15 minutes in the afternoon.
Right.
And with that, there's like no time, because some staff were arguing that maybe they can get, because they have like their children to go and pick up and drop off and that kind of thing. Even that is no consideration for that. Then there's a consideration with salary as well.
Yeah, the overtime is not being given. And I have several friends that are nurses where tell me like they get called on demand. They do 16-hour shift back to back, all kind of stuff, and so you're not getting paid for that. You get, I think one time one of them would tell me it's a month overtime that they have not got paid anything for their overtime, and I'm like, what? And you're like, yeah, you just have to wait to get it if you get it sometimes, because sometimes you don't get it, and that's frustrating because if anybody knows what a nurse does, and I'm not trumping out doctors, but nurses are like really hands-on. They're the ones that are there at the hospital bed. So for you to work hours upon hours and you get called into because if a nurse can't make it, you have to go and you're not getting no overtime for that. And you're
No
exhausted
allowance for
back
that,
to
yeah.
back to back for that. No man, that's
Yeah,
much. That's
but it goes
much.
back to what you mentioned, something about, the frontline workers being treated as heroes. But when we look at the amount of investment going into the health system, like every year when we talk about the budget for the health system is decreased. We get so much grants that go into the health system, and I can speak for HIV, most of it goes in administrative cost rather than to the actual population. We have times when medications go out of stock, and then people have to figure out their way. I mean, it's the public health system where people should be out there going and getting high quality services, but now you have to pay as if you're actually going to a private hospital as well, which is really not adding up. So you have like the high cost that the patient has to pay, but then the compensation for the staff is not there as well. So it's like there's really no balance with
And
this.
if we have these Facebook posts,
Yeah.
we see them speaking about the shortage of nursing staff, allowances, availability allowance, sick leave claims on 12-hour shifts, issues arising, that's an internal issue, employment of EMT work contracts. These are all the things that were brought up in the meeting on the 22nd. But they are so fed up, so frustrated. I am saying when people who have made a life choice to save lives, to be care providers, when people like that walk off the job in mass simultaneous stage protests, that is a sign of a system that has overheated and cracked.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's not a sign of smoldering resentment.
Yeah.
It's a sign of the thing broke. And I am just saying that what happens is that I believe we don't have an effective opposition. I'm certain we don't have an effective opposition.
certain of that too.
So I'm saying that these people are acting on their own, thankfully in a political vacuum. They are neither no P. But what we are seeing here is the first cracks in the Briceño administration. This is not a very strong government. Yes, they win elections. I will never argue they will win for a long time because of the ineffectiveness of the UDP. But it is not. They do not have a very strong leader. All right, I hear you say it. Oh, okay, whatever. I'm saying, well, we have two political parties without very strong and effective leaders. I don't doubt Mr. Briceño has great support within his party, etc. But there is a thing in politics called command and control.
Yeah.
And that is not the easiest thing, and they have not faced any real test because the opposition is hopeless.
Yeah.
But now we're seeing little cracks. I want to see how it will be managed. The minister was traveling along with the CEO. I think they were in Fort Lauderdale for some foreign medical school graduation or something with one of those San Pedro schools. They have fires getting out of control at home.
If you catch up,
They need. He's back.
Okay.
They are back. And he said, I think we did ask him to appear on the show, and he said he will not appear until he meets with the nurses, with labor, with all the relevant parties. So he is urgently working to try and get a handle on it, but it's an important first test. And we will have the walkout, I believe, starts at 7 a.m. At Western Regional at least, and Courtney Menzies is there. And we will have stuff from her once that starts jumping off. Go ahead.
I just have a comment here from gentleman Albert Mena. He's saying how the Dangriga nurses are working in deplorable situations. Not only there's no security guard posted at the Southern Regional Hospital, nurses are their own security guard. There's no air conditioning. There's no overtime payment despite working hours. And, what's up with their air representatives? So apparently even for that, when you look at down south.
I think we have footage of the teachers from down south, from the nurses from down south. Edson, I had sent some footage of that. But
Yeah, I know how it goes.
No, man, I'm thinking because you up and down with all kind of stuff. You don't have AC, you don't have no security, and it could get crazy in there.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like the Ministry of Health is kind of like the Ministry of on health, given the fact that there's so much healthcare providers that are suffering from chronic conditions. The amount of diabetes, the amount of obesity, hypertension caused by stress, but also the sedentary kind of lifestyle that comes with it.
Yeah.
But also the burnt out is very, very real. The stress level that is going within the health system.
And it's a global phenomenon right
Yeah,
now.
it's not just significant.
Right, because of the burnout after COVID.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that all over the world, medical professionals are leaving that job because they're so burnt out. It took a great
From
toll on them.
COVID to now, like there hasn't been a big break for them,
Right.
and there's not enough compensation for them, and just listening to their kids.
We see the Dangriga nurses, this is a walkout on Saturday, right? And so, these are pretty much spontaneous activities. This is so serious. And it's happening this morning, Western and I believe Northern as well, in Orange Walk. And it may happen Southern again. Somebody has to deal with this urgently.
Definitely.
There's a crisis. The Prime Minister is not in country. He's on duty leave, we're told. I don't know what duty leave is, but I hope it's good.
Because you're a duty man.
I got duties, but anyway. So it's a very serious situation, and I want to.
He may be speaking at the UN too as well. I'm not.
Right, yeah. I don't know what's the timing for that, but September is usually.
But it's not just like only the frustrated nurse, Jules. Like the CMS is also like out of like basic medication, like Tylenol as well.
And exactly, CMS. For those who don't know at home, CMS is Central Medical Store.
Right.
Right? So this is one of the points of frustration. This is one of the flashpoints that was not covered in that meeting, according to what we saw. CMS, due to, I have to say, there has to be some mismanagement of the process of the tendering and acquisition of pharmaceuticals at the Ministry of Health. Again, Dr. Julio Sabido. And they don't even have Tylenol. They don't have acetaminophen,
The
Tylenol.
basic Tylenol that everybody has to get for the most part.
They don't even have Tylenol. This is a crisis, but I'm saying that it's been on a slow burn because there is no opposition to activate or engage these people, or if the young people say, well, so and so and push the issue away. So they are having to push it on their own, and I'm saying it's a far point to reach when nurses put themselves out like that, but it's because of other ancillary issues, apart from the main issues. How frustrating is it to work when you cannot get Tylenol?
Exactly.
How hard is it to... I'm saying, for example, at the KHMH, which is not a government hospital, it's a statutory corporation or some such title. But I'm saying that KHMH has to spend, at least they have money that they can spend to get these medicines independently because they're not available at central medical stores.
Yeah.
There is a critical failure in the system, and it has to be addressed, but there is some major fail. And I'm saying that the tenders that used to go out in March and April are now, I believe the tenders were just finalized last week at the end of August, the tenders for next year. And that was the same process that happened last year. Since the change of government, there's been some type of breakdown in the process. I'm sure it's attributable to many factors. But at the end of the day, nurses don't have medicines to give. Doctors do not. People do not have medicines to receive. This is a matter of public health. It's a matter of life and death. Wake up and smell the coffee. You, the travel, that graduation of the Florida, man, stop it.
Not a priority.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I mean, they have the money to pay a private hospital, right? They don't like, at some point you can see the disconnect because they can go to a private hospital and pay their bill and pay their treatment. But what about the average folk that needs to go to a public hospital where basic things like Tylenol, no vitamins are available? I went to Mason Roberts like within this month, and that's an NHI clinic. And on my consultation, I asked the doctor, so like, there's certain medications that I would like. And then she was like, do you see this list of medication right here? These are stuff that we do not have. And it was like a 4-page thing going on here. And I was like, wow. So I was like, you know what? Can you just write me a prescription? I'll figure out how I'll buy it.
But the thing is, you say, Kev, you might have the privilege of figuring that out. Think about the families that have to take their children to school, that need that medication to survive, and they can't get it. What are we doing for them? Because and us one and us two, it's probably hundreds of people.
So imagine the frustration of these medical professionals. You're already super stressed after COVID.
Then you have to tell your patient
super burnt out.
Medication.
Right? And then you have to tell people, I don't got that, I don't got that. It's not a happy feeling to have to deny people. You took an oath to provide service.
Right.
You made it your life's work to heal people. And you need medicines to do it, and you don't got this, you don't got that.
Yeah.
Like,
And that's one side of it.
But these are basics of governance.
Exactly.
These are basics of governance. Healthcare, critical issue. Like, stop it, man. You cannot fail on these central critical.
We're investing
basics.
more in infrastructure than in the health system, honestly.
And
we're
also
building
paying
on
less
more roads.
more than we're investing in things. But
Only 38 million US.
oh my gosh. Somebody said that in the chat too as well. We don't have no problem for payoffs, X, Y, and Z people, but we have problem for invest in our healthcare system that is necessary, in need of it. Wow. Priorities.
Yes. Right. So let's move on to our next item. So moving from the health system to talking about EIAs and the fact that there can be unlimited EIAs.
So it's like data?
No,
How?
Waterloo has committed the same. Every time you turn me down, it's like a girl who turn you down, right? Or someone you're courting or pursuing. Every time they turn you down, they're like, I know you turned me down yesterday, but today is a new day.
I'm wearing a different outfit today, so you might like me today.
Right, exactly. So yes, so that's basically what happened. Waterloo has changed it. They put on a nicer shirt, right?
Yeah.
Because and these environmental groups sent the government a very strong and clear letter. We have made commitments under the Blue Bond.
Yeah.
Where is the leadership, right? To say, listen, this can't happen. This have to stop.
Right.
We cannot have 3 cruise ports, all with environmental implications in the Belize district. Where is the Ministry of Tourism? Where is the Minister of Tourism? And like rail up. But where is he when he's needed on critical issues? They could make a 5-minute ad about all the money they make and what a success the festival was. Awesome. Leadership, sir, is required. That is your job. Where is the leadership? We have Blue Bond commitments that we should not do anything that affects the barrier reef system. And yet we are engaging in another EIA consultation. So these 13 or 12 conservation groups have sent the government a very strong letter saying, listen, pause, put everything on pause, because you see, there is a little room in the law because we made a commitment on a Blue Bond and that you can't authorize anything that will affect the reef except as it is inconsistent with the laws of Belize. So what that little out clause means is that as long as you don't change the EIA regs, you could continue whistling past the graveyard. You cannot. You have made international commitments.
Yeah.
International commitments have been made, and I don't understand how the government can think it can get away with trying to pass another EIA for one that has already been rejected.
Definitely.
How many times can you come? But this is the government encouraging this against the Blue Bond commitment it made.
Yeah.
And
We
so,
just want to have conversations, man.
you know, it's such a, it's it's what these people are saying. Show the previous slide, please, the previous page. So what they're saying is that, no, the next one, that one right there. The next one, please. No, yeah, we had it with the national port policy. What they're saying, that one, what they are saying is that the national port policy, the marine spatial plan, the blue economy development policy, strategy and implementation plan, national sustainable tourism master plan remain in process. Get that settled. Before in a rush we go consider another EIA. Why are you in such a rush to consider another EIA? We have commitments on the Blue Bond. Line all of this up. And then they make a critical point. Sustainable overnight tourism is a sound economic policy, and that accounts for 90% of our revenue. Yet we are willing to destroy, denude, and defeat our environment for cruise tourism, and everybody out here in cruise knows that cruise is crumbs.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
Then
true.
people know to spend money. I understand. People are employed and making money off it. I understand that.
Yeah.
But it is not real money.
Outside of that catchment area, right? Nobody else is, or the benefits is.
Yes, I'm saying that
Yeah.
cruisers don't spend money. All the money
Yeah.
is spent on the ship. That's how it's set up. You're dealing with corporations that rape and pillage countries. To quote the president of BTIA, his immortal word, cruise tourism is crackhead economics.
Yeah.
It's crackhead economics.
Jules, what was another thing that stuck out from this release was the fact that it's preventing the government from going under another lawsuit. You know,
Right.
given the fact that if they would approve certain things now and then they would go and implement what the blue bond says, then certain things would not add up, and then they might want to have a lawsuit based on that, right? So we already know how that is going with the wishy-washy ways of the government and say, you know what, we dreamt this tonight and we're going to implement it tomorrow. Then like our country ends up paying, you know, these lawsuits that we're going to go through. And we already know also like how the whole Ashcraft deal is going as well, right?
Right.
So it's not a good place for us to be.
It's not a
It's
good
not very
place.
favorable.
And when you're dealing with Lord Ashcroft, you're dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight. God have mercy on your soul.
Yes.
So, you know, it's a very serious situation, and I want to see what the government response will be. It's a very strong and clear letter from these environmental groups, and I want to hear what the Nature Conservancy has to say. They did not sign that letter, but they are the government's partners in
With
the
the
Blue
Blue
Bond
Bond. Yep.
undertaking. So we will try and hear what they have to say. So, you know, we have to keep a very close eye on
Yeah.
that.
But it's definitely good to see, you know, like all eyes and everybody involved in this. They're not letting
No.
it slide.
But
Right.
we can't-
That's really, really
we
good.
can't, We gonna sign on to this blue bond, gonna announce it big one thing, make everybody look upon we as like pilot country, and then we are just shipping this like this. Like,
Yeah.
it don't make sense. So we have to be putting our money where our mouth is and acting accordingly. So I'm glad for all of these organizations coming together because it's needed. We need somebody to hold the government accountable for us to
And
remind
there
it
needs
what
to
we
be-
sign on to.
And there needs to be leadership.
There needs to be
What
leadership.
here will
good
happen,
governance.
here what can't happen. This can't happen because of what like where is the leadership? And that's why I'm saying the government is a weak government. There is a lack of command and control.
Then we don't have the opposition with it. Opposition it up. So
Yeah, so and that's
Our last-
and that's the other thing I observed last week. I want to say. So in order to put Shyne's performance at the demonstration, because it's a performance. At the demonstration
Grammy?
context.
Grammy?
You see that it's not a Grammy winning performance.
It's not a Grammy.
Though he has Grammys, yo. But I just want to if we can show footage of Shyne, usually the leader of the opposition is not the tongue barker, right? That's in the interview, but if we can show footage of the procession itself, when he was in the procession itself, he was the one leading the chants. No, customarily, that is not the role of the party leader, right? That is not the role of the party leader to be the shouter in chief. That's why you got people named Yellows. That's why you got people named Files. Those are the party soldiers, and you are supposed to be there in spirit, but not necessarily as vocal. However, he's taking a page out of John Briceño's book in 2017 when the PUP were not getting traction. John Briceño led a ridiculous standoff on the Tower Hill Bridge. No reason for it. They just, as Michael Jackson famously sang, you want to be starting something, you got to be starting something. So if we can flash back to 2017, this is when a leader of the opposition is trying too hard. If we can flash back to 2017, I think we have that footage, guys. I had sent the link. But if we can flash back to 2017 on the Tower Hill Bridge, that's when the head of this special patrol unit had famously thrown Marisol Amaya, our colleague, on the ground, grabbed her and threw her on the ground, just usual police business. But if we can find the one from 2017, this is when a leader of the opposition feels that is not getting traction within his party and is willing to show in a desperation move that, hey, I have skin in the game. And so I'm saying that while Shyne was out there leading the charge as the tongue barker, as the city barker, right? Being the rabble rouser in chief, right? In a desperate attempt to prove his bona fides as party leader. He's taking a page out of John Briceño's book because John Briceño did the same desperate thing in 2017. And look how well it worked out. 3 years later, he's the maximum leader,
Yeah.
right? Guys, are we able to pull up that footage from 2017? I think they'll have it, Charlie. But, you know, Shyne, it was a very desperate move for him because he wants to show that Patrick Farber never had a protest and he at least had a small one. Here's the 2017 footage. I want the actual standoff with the police at the start of that video. We have the actual standoff with the police.
You know, what I was thinking, Jules, while that gets loaded is that So on the BET performance that Shyne had, he cited various leaders, right? Various black leaders that kind of did demonstrations and standoffs too. So maybe he's following those footsteps as well.
Oh, you mean like Martin Luther King?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's when you have advanced state of.
Because I want to show the
Delusion.
people that the Ocha.
I think I'm sure that's the wrong one, guys. That's a march in the city, I believe. Yeah, that's a march in the city. I sent you the link for the 2017 one. Anyway, in 2017, he led it on the Tower Hill Bridge. But so Shyne has an advanced state of delusionitis. But what happened is that, yes, I agree, many historic marches have been led by many great leaders, but those many great leaders, you have soldiers who are at the front, they chant.
Yeah.
You are not usually the one at the front chanting. So Shyne's, his performance, and that's what it was, really stood out for that. But let's see, we have the 2017 one, guys. Do we have it on the Tower Hill Bridge?
I think that there's.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's it. But at any rate, I hope we can bring it up before the end of the show. But so Shyne is in a acute situation right now because Tracy Tager Panton gave. No, you're not to be critical of the party. That's a directive of the National Party Council. You should not be critical of the UDP.
Right.
But Tracy Tager Panton gave Love TV some interviews on Friday that could be interpreted as critical of the party. And it's going to be interesting because that's a directive of the National Party Council. It's going to be interesting to see what is the next course of action. I can't say that she was hypercritical, but I can say that she did make some remarks that if you're sensitive, and Brother Shyne is nothing if not sensitive, can be interpreted as critical of the party. So it will be very interesting to see where it goes with Shyne vis-a-vis Tracy Tager Panton and Patrick Faber. We'll have to watch that very closely in the next week to see what moves are made because it's clear that Tager Panton and Faber continue to work as a tandem. And we will see what Shyne does because he feels they're working as a tandem against him. And so we'll see. But so no good news for the UDP. They continue to be divided, disunited, and ineffective. Sorry.
And John Saldivar also jumped now into the UDP contest as well.
Well, remember, Yone Rosado is the first human being. There are two people in politics who we know have given political parties money. I want to underscore this.
Okay.
Lev Derman and Yone Rosado. Yone Rosado made one of the most sensational claims last week. Here's the 2017 footage of John Briceño. Wanna be starting something on the Tower Hill Bridge. They just went to block Tower Hill, just out there like, oh no, listen to we, nobody know to pay, we no mind. So we going out here and block the bridge. They went out there and they blocked the bridge. He and Josemai, and it's really just, they're blocking the bridge for no good reason, but and there's Mr. Che, he was charged at some point, but he's trying to get them off the bridge, but they're saying, we shall not be moved. Why know why? We don't know why we block this bridge. But we block this bridge. I remember that very well, and I remember that day, but it is when an opposition leader is desperately trying to get traction.
Yeah.
It was 2017, 2 years after election. We're in 2022. 2 years after the 2020 election. I'm just saying.
Pattern.
I'm not saying it's a pattern. It takes more than a swallow to make summer.
Right.
But the tactics are the same. Guys, can we jump to some of the actual action with the police in this? There was actual action and counteraction with the police in this. And, you know, it was, there is Mr. Briceño, we shall not be moved off the bridge, blocking the bridge for no good reason. Good political fun. And, you know, and Mr. Brasa was the main one trying to get him off. All the police were there. That's Josemai's vehicle or his former vehicle. That probably his manservant or his mate has that now. Because he's pushing a 2022 Land Cruiser, thanks to you. Those only cost $320,000. But yeah, that's his old vehicle, which now his farm workers are using, I'm sure. But anyway, so Josemai blocking the bridge. This was great political drama at the time. And, you know, Mr. Briseño.
Don't you do that?
Yeah, exactly. See, that's when the action started jumping up. But all this was manufactured drama. And that's the same track Shyne was on. Shyne was trying to have a showdown with the police. Remember, they had a defiant. Yeah, all that happened. But remember, UDP's protest was an illegal protest.
It was.
Right? So I'm saying that they were going against the police. The police were wise enough to leave them. Right? The police were wise, but that is the kind of action they wanted to start. So after we've seen that great footage, I want to come back to 2022. Lev Derman and Yone Rosado, the only two human beings who we know have given political parties cash. Now I want to specify something. This is a widespread practice.
Yeah.
And there is no campaign finance regulation for a reason. All owner, every politician, they get money in a bag. I know it. It's factual. 50,000, Yone Rosado gave them 50,000. He gave an intermediary 50,000. I will leave it at that. He gave an intermediary 50,000. You know what 50,000 gets you? 50,000 get you pull over and they take your vehicle without even call you first. You know why? Because politics is a money game. You want to be a player, you want to be a baller, a shot caller, 500,000 is to get into the game.
Yep.
50,000 that for make we say, who was Yone Rosado? 50,000 that forget you money. I just want people to understand where they're going in politics. Because slowly we're seeing behind the curtain. And behind the curtain is money laundering. It's real. And John Saldivar, they're not the only man forget it. All of them get money in cash from politicians. It's not given in checks. They don't have point-of-service machines. It's not electronic transfers. Politicians in Belize get money in cash. And I demand they must pass campaign finance laws. They have to. And they have to disclose who they're getting money from. But they're not interested in that.
Right.
Because what they're interested in is the money in the bag. 50,000 Yone, you know what that gets you? That gets your vehicle taken away and Chastain to push that next week. Chastain to push the Adler. I'm just kidding.
Oh, man.
Somebody from police will be pushing it, though, trust me. I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying, politicians get money. So now we're seeing 25,000 left Derman. That was one of the tranches for which John Saldivar has been crucified. Wrongly, I believe, because I want to know how much all owner get in a bag.
Yeah.
Paper bag. I've seen it in a shoebox. They put it in a shoeboxes too. It's a lot of cash. So Yone Rosado did an exceptional thing. He admitted basically once you're handling 50,000 in cash, people are going to say you're money laundering. And he admitted he made it as a contribution to a political
But
party.
how is like FIU and the money laundering, I guess, group that monitors are involved in this though? I mean,
Well, obviously, they should be monitoring this, and I would hope they are, but they don't do public disclosure. They don't do public disclosure, and we don't know that anything has ever come out of any complaint to FIU. It may have. I'm not saying it didn't, but I do not know. It has never come to my attention.
Okay.
But certainly, I am saying political parties, it is not in their interest because none of them want to tell the truth. They get money in a bag, thousands of it, tens of thousands of it, and they give that money away. They keep some of it. I don't know where they do it. Because when you get money in a bag, you don't get a receipt,
That's true.
right? Ill-gotten gain.
It's so cringy, honestly. It's so cringy. And then you think
But
like
everybody-
why young people are not active in voting. I mean,
course.
the millennial perspective of voting compares to like baby boomers' perspective of voting, which is fanatism and really it's like a religion.
Right.
Compared to like young people voting to make a change, really, it's cringy.
Two
It's
different worlds.
cringy seeing how can you get people involved.
Yeah.
And we're not.
How you get
Bridged-
people
we
involved
haven't
is
bridged that yet.
clientelism, patronage, money. That's
Buy
the
votes.
system. That's
Yeah.
how they have the system
Buy
set
the
up.
votes.
Jules.
Yes,
Buy the
and the
votes.
sweat. Working this grill is hard work,
I
guys.
know, man. You put the ketchup. I put the ketchup. I can dash the ketchup on it now. But we have
Yeah.
come to the ending of our couch chat. We
Mercifully.
got extra time, I know. I just hope you know that.
How shall we
nice.
never shut we down today?
And I think it may feel nice and sorry. I think it feel sorry for you because of what happened over the weekend.
I think so. That
The
was
basketball.
it's a public embarrassment. Is always good for the soul, you know.
You know,
keeps
if
It
I'm
is.
gone and I'm with the Prime Minister Kareem team, I just want
Oh.
you to know I'm at rub that in your face till no more.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
So,
I was
Be happy.
spared.
Be very happy.
I was spared. I was spared.
You were catching the shots?
I didn't take any.
Oh, you didn't
That's
take
one
any?
way to minimize embarrassment. I was basically just playing American football while them play basketball just to try hurt people. You know, those guys are committed to nonviolence, I could tell you that. Because the amount of slapping and grabbing I do to them, and none of them, I try to get boxed
They should
up.
have jerk you back.
Then should have jerk you
It sounds therapeutic, Jules. It
It
sounds
was.
like what
I
you
got
feel.
it.
Exactly, that's why I'm saying it's so therapeutic.
Okay, but thank you so much,
Thank you,
Jules, for this
Jules.
coach talk.
Thank
It
you,
was
thank you.
definitely up to par. People are able to know what's happening because I'm sure many people might not even know about the walkout that happened Saturday.
Yeah.
what's
And one is happening right now at Western
One is
Regional.
supposed to happen.
And Courtney will tell us about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, so we're going to be having the inside scoop with Courtney about what's happening, you know, what are the reasons, what's the feel on when they're having their walkout this morning. So stay tuned for that.
I have an update from Courtney. She says that the walkout will happen at Western Regional at 7:30 a.m. So that's in the next 10 minutes.
The next 10
wow.
minutes.
So
Yeah.
we'll keep you up to date on that. We have our team out there in Belmopan.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thank
Well,
you.
With that, we go to our first commercial break. Thank you, Jules. You want to practice your bowling skills now? Or no?
I think
gonna put
it's
on that
time to
jersey back
retire.
again?
Time to retire there.
You must have the jersey hang out right in our house.
Ah.
But let's retire to a commercial, guys. Let's do that. And we have a beautiful sunrise courtesy of Biggs Belize. You tell me how that, yeah, stop send me sunrise because Jules always push his one out.
Wow, this is
You're
beautiful.
only greedy. You know, August supposed to be no Jules sunrise. What happened?
I didn't know that.
You never know?
I'm off. I've stopped.
But we have this. Let's enjoy this beautiful sunrise from down south. And with that, guys, we're going to go to our first commercial break. When we're back, we're going to be talking about the collection of work with international media, which includes Vice and Nat Geo. So stay tuned for the exciting conversation. We'll be right back.
Yeah. That's actually Belize.